Let me turn my volume
Good
down.
morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Do Hard Things podcast. I'm your host, Jay Teagues, and I have in studio with me the lovely, ravishing Angie Bertrand. How you doing this morning, Angie?
Hey, I am great.
Happy Monday. It is
Happy Monday.
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yes.
My kids are off of school, and it's
I'm
been
off
an
of work.
interesting time period. I don't know if did you watch the news this weekend?
Nope. I was traveling on the road this weekend.
The
knocking
end
out
times are
a
here.
5K in
Israel is under attack. I don't know if you saw any of that stuff.
I have not even, I've not, nope.
Yeah.
I've totally disconnected.
Not to start off the show like on a morbid state, but I mean, it's a historical event, so I've been kind of following that as tragic as that is, and yeah, I don't know. It's Monday. Okay, we just start over. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Do Hard Things podcast. I'm Jay Teagues, and I have with me Angie Bertrand. Angie, how are you doing?
I'm great. I am settled in my hotel. I traveled from Missouri to Maryland. I stopped, and I'm on a mission to run a 5K at minimum, a 5K in every state. And I stopped and ran in Indiana and Ohio on Saturday. I ran in West Virginia on Sunday. I'm here in Maryland. I got to Maryland yesterday, got settled in my new home for the next couple months, temporary home, not new home, temporary home while I go to school for the next couple months. And yeah, I was completely disconnected. I did not watch the news or anything. I traveled the entire weekend. So I will just
stay away from the news.
You can catch me up on all the things that are happening, all the things.
Yeah, that's awesome. For me, I had a pretty peaceful weekend with my kiddos. Got a couple things. I'm excited. I got a 50-mile mountain bike race next weekend.
Ooh.
I am not probably as trained as I'd like to be, but I'm really looking forward to it because I haven't been back on my cycling kick and mountain biking again, which has been awesome.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to the Taylor Swift concert on Thursday night.
No way.
Chiefs game. Sorry. Chiefs game. Chiefs game. I'm going to a Chiefs game. I'm assuming Taylor Swift will be there because it's all over. Every time you watch the NFL, that's what it's all about. So yeah. So life's going pretty good. Trying to think of what else. Fall is here.
Fall is here. Yes, fall happened from Missouri to here to Maryland. Like that's when it happened because I left Missouri and it was still in the 90s.
Yeah.
And on my travels here to Maryland, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I brought jackets and sweaters and a beanie because I got out to pump gas a couple times. I was like, oh, good. It is cold. It is so cold.
Yeah. It chilled down pretty quick. I'm attempting to, I had a rooftop tent on my 4Runner and it was taking up so much fuel because it's large. It's an FSR 80. So I have a 4Runner. It's got a rooftop tent. I like to overland and camp outside. I took it off and I'm trying to sleep inside of it, try to set up a platform. So I slept in it on Thursday because I'm tall. I'm 6'4". Yeah. And so I wanted to see if I could sleep in it before I actually took it out in the woods. So I in my driveway on Saturday night, I got everything set up. And I froze my ass off. I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, it is like literally freezing. I was in a sleeping bag too. I'm like, holy frick, it's cold.
Yeah.
And so to your point, fall is here and it came in quickly, but it been nice. The only thing I really don't like about it is I don't like being dark. Like it's dark outside right now.
Yeah.
It stays dark till 7.
Yeah.
That's a drag a little bit. But other than that,
I like running. I like running in this weather. I like the 40s, man. I was checking the weather. I was like, oh, this is perfect running weather. So
perfect running weather. I had a bunch of friends. The Chicago Marathon happened over the weekend.
Yeah.
And world record breaking marathon, 2 hours.
Really?
Flat. Yeah. That was broken.
Who did that? Do you know?
Kip. It wasn't Kipchoge. It was another gentleman. Kip.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to check it out.
Kipchoge. It's on the Do Hard Things Nation Facebook. I dropped it in there.
All right.
There's also a female. I don't know if it was the fastest or second fastest recorded marathon, but there was also a female record. And I saw it briefly. This is what's aggravating. Yeah, they got the males posted everywhere. But I saw the female. I wanted to capture it too. There's some type of female record broken, and I got to do some more research on that. If anyone
Yeah,
out there is
thanks,
listening,
Jay.
you know
Thanks.
what that is, let us know because
Good
I want
job,
to go
Jay.
post
Good
that too.
job.
Yeah.
Good job,
So,
Jay.
good morning, William. William's out there in Facebook
What?
land.
What's up? Good morning, William.
So,
But he's out there
yeah.
getting after it. He works out every day.
Well, hey, this episode is brought to you by the Lions Guide and the Forge.
Yeah.
The Forge is a high performance mastermind group over at Lions Guide,
Mhm.
and Lions Guide is the Leadership Development Academy. Online courses. We have group coaching calls. We have one-on-one training. We have in-person workshops. We feel that leadership solves most problems, and
Mhm.
it's an opportunity to lead yourself better, lead your teams better. So if you'd like a place where you can level up your personal growth and development journey, where you can network, find frameworks, challenges, and accountability, go to lionsguide.com, check out the Forge. And then we're also sponsored by Do Our Things Apparel. It is hoodie season, obviously, because we're both wearing hoodies.
We are.
And I tell you what, I love this particular model, whatever
I know.
design
We're,
you put
we
on it,
did
but
not plan this. We are
this
matchy-matchy this
model,
morning.
yeah, it's absolutely not planned at all. This particular model is the most comfortable ever. So if you want one, go to
Mhm.
dohardthingsnation.com. Go grab yourself one of these amazing hoodies. They're soft. They're amazing. People say they're their favorite. My wife, Lacey, will ruin you on your clothing because
Yeah,
all of the shirts are soft. I put on a
they are.
shirt and like I came and wear this. This is not quality soft design.
I could only pack so much for 2 months, and this is what made the cut.
It's what
This is
made
what
the
made
cut.
the cut. I was like, "I've gotta take my Goal Crusher hoodie because it is so comfortable, and I will wear this every day." And
Yeah.
that's how I feel about school because I gotta crush my school
Got to crush
goals.
some goals. So
Yeah. Mhm.
So, all right. Well, hey, let's talk about today's topic. If you were to
Let's do
die
it.
today, how would the world remember you?
Yes,
Go back to
yes. Yeah.
that's what we're going to talk about today. Maybe a little bit morbid, but we want to talk about vision building.
Mhm.
How do you build a compelling vision for the future so you can live a happy life now? And we want to talk about the topic of Memento Mori. We'll kind of deep dive into that, but Angie was driving and she called me up and she's like, "Hey, I got a great topic idea. So Andy, why don't you, or Angie, the coffee's not quite
Okay.
kicked in yet. Angie, why are we talking about this morning?"
Well, because so many people don't wanna talk about, subjects as related to death. It's morbid, it's sad, it's things you don't wanna talk about, especially those of us that love life, right? I mean, I wake up every day and I'm like, "Yes, I woke up today. Yes, I get to live life." And I would be so I don't wanna die because I love living, like, I love my life. So when you talk about death, it's, like, kinda, sad and, brings the mood down a little bit. But hey, look, we gotta think about death to live life with purpose because you want your time the short time that we're here, we want it to mean something. And I want to live my life in such a way that when I am introduced at my funeral, when I'm introduced at my funeral, I want to be proud of that. You
Yeah.
know, I want to be remembered in such a way that I want to leave an impact on people because let's face it, when you die, right? It's so crazy because we've both lost people and this year, and it's just like it can happen so quick and
Mm,
unexpected, and everyone else who's still here, they keep living, they keep going, and so the only way to really keep going is in people's minds and the legacies that you leave and the
absolutely.
impact that you made on this earth. So, yeah,
So
it's
I'm
just
I'm
really
working
important.
on a vision building course, Forge Your Vision, 12
Mhm,
actions to help you align your North Star. That's
mhm,
dropping in the Lions Guide Academy. And so the topic of purpose and creating a vision has been front of mind for me. And
mhm,
your purpose is your reason for being. Like why are you here? Why are we here on this planet? What are we designed to do? And then there's another concept of like, are you on the right path? Meaning, you need to be in alignment with your purpose, and are you on the right path? Like, are you in the right career path? Are you in the right relationship? The path is like the method to get you from point A to point B. And your
mhm,
vision should be like looking outward, like where do you want to end up? And a vision is probably you may never it's never like an end point. Your goals are like your pavers to your vision, but your vision is almost like the North Star. The North Star kind of gives you a cardinal direction, and that's what they use for navigation purposes. That's why we talk about the North Star, because it's always there. It's a beacon in the sky. So when you find yourself disoriented, You can kind of like reorientate yourself to get in the right cardinal direction through your path and on your purpose and get everything in alignment.
Mhm.
If you don't have a compelling vision for the future, or you're disconnected from your vision, that's when you have more misery in your life. That's when you feel disconnected. And for people that are just like off of their purpose and not in alignment with their vision, it feels like hell. There's no deeper pain than not being in alignment with your purpose and your vision.
Mhm.
I think there's a complete spectrum where you're like complete like happiness and fulfilled, and you jump out of bed and there's like a magnet that pulls you because you want to seize the day. There's that aspect, which I think is what people are trying to find. Some people have
Mhm.
found it. Then you have this like spectrum of like people that are just the further that you're away from that, the more misery you have in your life. Then you have the edge of the ledge where people are jumping off of it. And I've been
Mhm.
there where I've almost wanted to end it because the pain was so bad. I
Yeah.
was not on my purpose path or had a compelling vision for the future. That's how you end up tapping out in life, is because you've completely lost yourself and you don't see a future.
Yeah.
And that's, the good news is through personal growth and development and therapy, you can kind of rewire this processing system to get you back in alignment. But that's what it's all about, is trying to get to alignment. Now, a lot of people are out here. You got the far end of you got the ledge. You got a lot of people out here in this like middle range, and
Mhm.
they're just kind of going through the day, their comfort zone. Maybe they've got some challenges, but when you operate from a place of inspired action and you're in complete alignment, it feels really freaking good.
It
So what
does.
we want to talk about today is give you a tip or a tool to help you align your vision that may be a little bit controversial or morbid, or however you want to call it, maybe a little dark, because we're going to be talking about your legacy and death, because the inevitable thing is it's all going to happen to us.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you've listened to Matthew McConaughey, Green Lights is a great book. What
Yes.
were you listening to him on when you were?
Oh, so, my favorite podcast, we are not sponsored by them in any way, is Smartless. It's Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett. They have a podcast they started during COVID. And, Matthew McConaughey, they were interviewing him, and, I just love Matthew McConaughey. Like, I love his book, Green Lights. I've listened to it twice. Um, I just really like him as a human. And they were talking, and, they he said something to the effect of, "Hey, how do you wanna be introduced, at your funeral? How do you wanna be introduced by your friends and family?" And 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 they were talking about, reflecting on that, and has that, as we because we get older, we're all there, we're all older, and so it was kinda like, um, in this age, are you thinking about how you're gonna be introduced, and is that challenging you to live your life differently? And are you living on purpose? And it just, I was like, yeah, got me thinking about it, and that's why I called you and was like, "Hey, let's talk about this."
Yeah, absolutely. I love listening to him, like reading Green Lights, just hearing his voice.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoy. He motivates me as just a speaker, let alone like
Mhm.
his life experiences. But he's a big proponent of journaling, and
Mhm.
because of him, I've been incorporating it more into my routine. And it's a very powerful exercise, as simple as it is. There's something magical that happens taking pen to paper and taking your thoughts on your brain and writing. It's different than just typing it out, because I think it
Right.
forces you to slow down. But anyway, he's known for having just journaling his entire life.
Yeah.
And this concept of like writing your own obituary is a very powerful concept that's designed to help you envision your best future self
Mhm.
and ensuring that you're living in alignment now. And it's the whole Memento Mori process, just remembering that we are going to die at some point in time. And it's just a philosophical reminder that it's inevitable. And you know, it's a call to action to live your life with intention, with purpose, and to be kind and to make others smile and live. We can't wait. Like, oh, if I'm going to, I need this concept of I need to achieve all the goals, or I need to achieve this thing and then I'll be happy. That's a bullshit limiting belief, and it's going to
Yep.
cause you to chase your tail, because
Yeah.
it's never going to be enough. You're
No.
going to be in the cycle where it's just like, I need to get this thing, or I need to execute this action item, and then I'm going to feel happy and fulfilled.
Right.
That does not exist. You have got to enjoy the ride now while you're on it. And are
Yes.
you doing those things? So
Well, and, I've said this before. I've lost over 100 pounds twice, right? And the first time it was with the intention of, once I lose this weight, I will be happy. Once I lose this weight, I will do X, Y, and Z. Once I lose this weight. And once I lost the weight, it was like I did it for the wrong reasons.
Mhm.
And it wasn't, and I didn't sustain it. Right. And I truly believe 100 million% that gaining it back plus some was because my initial reasons for losing weight were not in alignment with how that what they should have been with. And so this second ride, the second go, it's like I'm going to lose this weight and I'm going to enjoy the process. I'm going to live in the moment. I'm going to do it for my health. And I truly 100%, it's a completely different feeling. It's a completely different everything. And I think that it that goes with when when you're not doing things for the right reason in the moment, it's not going to be sustainable. You're not going to be truly happy. You're not going to have reap the benefits down the road.
Yeah, because when you're not doing it for the right reason, you're not in alignment with your purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're doing it out of FOMO for some or external factors.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, I had a recently a one-on-one client where this individual is from another country and trying to live up to the expectations of parents and culture
Mhm.
in their relationship, in their career, and was trying so desperately to meet the expectations and not dishonor the family. There's some cultures out there that are like that.
Yeah.
And it was absolute hell for this individual. And you have to have, if you're living your life for other people and their expectations, you're going to live a life that's unfulfilling. And the further you are away from your purpose and your vision, you're going to create an absolute hell in your life. And that is usually, a lot of these, when you're off purpose and you're living for other people and expect like people pleasing and living expectations of others, living in that, it doesn't work. Oftentimes
Mm-mm.
those people, no matter what you do, they're never going to be happy.
Right.
So you might as well do you and be happy. And but when people can let go of that grip of power and take back their own power,
Mhm.
that's where the big breakthrough happens. But it's pervasive and so I always ask people, like, what is it in your life where you have to live up to some standard that's been dictated to you? I spent 27 years in the military and I love my service, but the freedom that I have now, I didn't realize there were some things about being on that path that weren't in alignment with my purpose, especially toward the end, because I'm like, I am kind of tired of this and I'm just worn out. And it was because I wasn't quite in alignment. And I think your purpose and your vision changes throughout your life.
Mhm.
And there are certain aspects of not having control. And my values were dictated to me, although I love the values of the branch that I was in and whatnot. But I wasn't completely congruent myself, right? I got
Yeah.
to shave every day. I still do that, but there are certain things that you have to do, right? It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Mhm.
So we all have an aspect of that. And I would just question you, what is that in your life? What are those external things that you're doing in your life that are dictated to you? Or maybe you're trying to please someone. It's not truly in alignment with you.
Mhm.
And what do you need to do to peel that back, maybe detach from some of that and get out of that habit of doing that?
Yeah.
Because then you get more of your power back.
Mhm.
All right, so boys and girls, we've got some journal prompts for you to help you craft your obituary. This is an exercise that's fairly common in the personal growth and development world. So if you're listening to this, I'm just gonna throw out some questions for you, and this is good stuff. So and maybe, Andy, did you have a couple questions too? You say you had some at the beginning, didn't you? Did Matthew McConaughey ask?
Oh, no,
Start
just
off with this.
it was just, how do you want to be introduced?
How would you like to be introduced at your funeral? So you're
Yeah.
sitting there. This is an out of body experience. Just close your eyes for a minute and just imagine your funeral happening. Your closest friends and family are there. Who's there? That's a big question.
Yeah.
Did you realize that there's a startling stat that maybe only the average funeral has like 10 people?
Yeah. I could totally see that.
And it's oftentimes that number is also even cut down further if the weather is bad. That's now you'll see people that I'm always impressed. I've been to a few funerals that were like people just lined up. I mean, just hundreds and hundreds of people, and you can tell the impact that that individual made.
Mhm.
How many people will be at your funeral? This is a tough question. Who will be there?
Yeah.
And are they the type of people that, like, this is where we kind of get into categorizing your friends? Like, how many people would brave the weather to stand there next to your funeral and say some kind words about you?
Yeah.
Those are probably your 3 a.m. friends that would probably drop everything to be there for you. Your
Yes.
success in life and your happiness in life improves immensely when you have those types of people in your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Are you happy with the direction that your life is going? Happiness can only be found in the present moment. So are you chasing happiness now? I mean, we need to pursue happiness. You cultivate that. But are you happy with the direction in which you're going? Are you on the right path? Are you, are you on your purpose? Do you have a compelling vision of the future? You watch the news, it's like, man, end times might be here. That's always happening. So are you, and we can't control that. At the end of the day, we're all going to depart at some point in time. But are you really, really, like, because if you're focused on the future, then you have anxiety and worry. Are you happy? Are you happy now? And are you happy in the direction in which your life is going? What could you improve? What could you improve in your life? What's not working out so well right now that you probably need to improve? What are you missing from your life? I want more travel. I want more experiences. Well, how do you get more of that in your life? I know for me personally, something that was missing for me, I want to travel to more countries. I'm like, man, years were going by and I'm raising kids. I'm in my career and it's a hassle to try. It's expensive. And I noticed that years were going by. I'm like, shoot, I have not traveled as much abroad as I would have liked.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, made the commitment, like once a year, I'm going to a national park and I'm going to a new country at a minimum. I'm making that happen every year.
Mhm.
And I've been hitting those and it feels really good. What is
Yeah.
that for you? What are you missing from your life? And how can you create a rule or a standard for yourself? How would you like to be remembered? There's I'm a big fan of Adam Carolla,
Mhm.
and he was a host of Loveline. He's got a couple podcasts out there, but he talked about he's a comedian. But he talks about like how do you describe it? Your status in life is dependent upon where your name is as worn on the body, or like if your name is on your shirt at work, you probably are in a different income bracket than someone who has their name on a building, or no, on a door of an office versus on
Uh-huh.
a desk versus on the building itself.
Uh-huh.
Where will your name tag? Where are you wearing your name tag? And at the end of the life, where will your name tag be?
Yeah. That's a good
And I'm
one.
like,
I
that's a
never even
pretty
thought
good,
about
yeah.
that.
People that name like buildings after people or streets, they did something with
Mhm.
their life. You go
Yeah.
on a military post, there's all sorts of like street names. They're typically named after someone. You look them up and they were like, they did something pretty heroic or something pretty badass in the military. And
Yeah.
you'll see that in neighborhoods. So where will your name tag be featured at the end of your life?
Yeah. I
What do you
just
need to start saying no to?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
What do you need to say no to? What boundaries do you need to put up? And then who will miss you the most? Who is going to miss you the most? One of my favorite books is A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. He talks about, one of the reasons for living is for, other people,
Mhm.
and people that end up tapping out usually state that they feel alone. They have the feeling of being alone. They have people in their life, but they're just not connected. So are you connected to the right people?
Mhm.
And so that's incredibly important. Who will miss you the most? And are you living with intention with those people? Are you connected? How are you connected? I've often talked to people and they're like, well, I have all these people in my life, but I'm not connected to them. The phone works both ways. And I have
Mhm.
periods in my life where I'm just like, man, I wish so and so would call me. They never call me.
Mhm.
They never call me.
Mhm.
And then I look back, I'm like, well, I never called them either.
Right.
And that's how you get disconnected from people.
Yeah, I see this meme floating around from time to time talking about how it's pretty much it sums up what you just said. Well, they never checked on me, so why should I pick up the phone and check on them? But you know what? I don't like that. I don't like that theory of, well, they're not calling me, so I'm not going to call them. People are human and they go through things. You never know what's going on the other side of that phone
Absolutely.
ever. And I don't ever want to not call someone because I'm angry that they didn't pick up the phone to call me, because you never know what someone else is going through. And if you sometimes you're going to be the only one picking up the phone and calling, and sometimes that's what you got to do.
Yep.
That's what you
Yep.
gotta do to connect. And 9 out of 10 times, you're gonna find out that that person has just been going through something, or they've built something up in their head because they haven't called you. I've been that person. I I have a family member that I don't call as often as I should, and then I feel guilty for it. And that guilt starts weighing on my heart, and then I feel guilty for not calling. So then I don't call, right? So finally, sometimes I just have to be like, Angie, pick up the phone and call. It doesn't matter how upset they are with you. It doesn't matter how hurt they are. I mean, it matters how hurt they are, but pick up the phone, call them, tell them you love them.
Mm.
And there's always this awkward first few minutes where she's like, you haven't called me. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know, but I'm calling you today and I love you and I miss you. And then we go on and have this great conversation. But just remember, everyone is human. And I know I'm kind of getting off on a tangent of this, but pick up the phone and call the people that you love. Call the people you care about.
Yeah.
Reconnect with them. Get over your own guilt and shame for not calling,
Yeah.
because we've all been there.
Get over it.
Yep.
Because in an instant, you just never know. You never know. That could be your last interaction with someone. I've had numerous people that in my life where I didn't realize that was going to be my last interaction with them. And you can't go back, and you got to live life now, and
Mhm.
you can't let these things fester. Be the bigger person and get to the peacemaking, and don't let these things fester, because then you have these
Yeah.
awkward, like you said, like these moments where you start to feel guilty, and you're carrying that around
Yeah.
with you in your day to day, like, oh, I should call
Yeah.
them, but I don't want to. And it weighs on the back of your mind, and it's
It
costing you your
does.
ability to be happy now, because you got this negative thought in your mind. And it's bullshit, really.
It is.
Um,
It's that bullshit that you've built up
yeah.
yourself, and
So,
it's yeah.
so be the leader,
Yeah.
and make it, prompt the conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We got a couple comments here. William says, Bill, be a great server who uplifted too many people throughout his life. That's excellent.
Yes.
Service to others. And then Carol, wow, the introduction for this podcast is huge. This is what American lacks: education, legacy of life, and grief, memories over materialism. Carol, God bless you. Carol, recently, Carol and her husband Roy were the weekly winners. Roy passed recently, went to heaven.
Mm.
And so Carol still, I mean, this is pretty fresh. This is a reminder. And what I love about Roy and Carol is that they're overlanders, and they recently they had quit their corporate jobs, packed up their Jeep, and they headed out west, and they were out there. I interviewed them on the Budget Overland podcast, and they were living out there in the Grand Teton National Forest. They were doing I forgot what we call it, where you're living at the park, and you're kind of hosting everyone at the park. And
Mhm.
they were overlanding. They made some phenomenal memories together. I mean, I absolutely love that they're living their life. That's what living life is all about. It's about
Yeah.
doing those things that fill your cup. And
Yes.
Carol and Roy made some epic memories. And that's what life is all about.
It is.
And no doubt. And yeah. Uh, all right. So yeah, kind of a morbid topic. I mean, morbid in the sense of thinking about death in our society and culture. We don't like to think about it. We don't like to talk about it. But when you can, this is kind of like a backwards planning process, right?
Yeah.
You do this at work all the time. This is the end state. The end is coming at some point. We don't know
Mhm.
when. And how do you see this is where you backwards plan all the pavers and experiences. And are you living congruently now on that path to whatever the end is?
Right.
And I'd like to think that I also like to this is not I'm not I'm a believer in God, and that there's higher. I don't know what that is. I don't know what. Do we go to heaven? Do we reincarnate to something else? I don't know, but I believe that there is a heaven of some sort. And that gives me solace and peace that, when the end does come, that I'm going to be, it's useful to me. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a lot of different religions that are out there. And my question would be like, well, is this serving you? Is it useful? Because to believe that we're just going to disappear and vaporize and that's the end, that's not very useful to me personally. I like to believe that, hey, I'm going to be connected. And I truly believe that. I think that there's something beyond this. And that makes this thought of death not nearly as scary or morbid to me.
Mhm.
I'm more at peace with it because I truly feel that we're going to be connected in some way, or there's another chance at life. I don't know what that is, but what is that for you? And that maybe enables you to not think about it so harshly, and you can backwards plan it
Yeah.
accordingly.
Well, and I like to think so for me, when I think about death and dying, I'm thinking about the legacy that I'm leaving and how did I treat people while I was here? And I know if something were to happen to me today, I am very comfortable. I'm very solid in the thought that my friends and family, they're going to remember me the way I want to be remembered. It's not going to be you know, man, I need to change this about myself because maybe I'm not treating people the right way. Maybe I'm not telling people I love them. Maybe I'm not showing up for the people in my life the way that I should. I am solid right now in this moment that if something were to happen to me in the next 5 minutes, my friends and family, I did right. I lived my life in such a way that it's not going to be God, she was such a
Yeah. Yeah.
bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she could really, no, nope, nope. I try every even and this is going to sound so crazy, but I don't even have road rage, right? And sometimes I'm human, right? So sometimes people cut me off. I'm like, oh, I really just want to, I told you, I don't flip people off. I give them the thumbs down, right? Give them
Yeah.
thumbs down. But, you know, everything I do, I know every action that I take in my life is going to affect somebody. And when I take the wrong action, I do my best to tie up those loose ends and to apologize and to let somebody know, you know what, I was wrong. I'm sorry. And I hope your day is better because I apologized and I owned up to the mistakes that I made.
Yeah.
Because every little thing you do, guys, that's why I talk about smiling so much. Because when you look at strangers and you smile, you don't know what's going on behind with them, right? You have no idea. And if you can just even that little action, if it can help somebody be in a better mood, do it. Do it. Think about it. Think about the bigger picture and yeah, think about the end state.
Yeah. Yeah. The end state. Where do you want to finish?
Mhm.
Without a finish line, what are you striving toward? It's like running a marathon without a you have to have there's a finish line out there. It's out there, but it
Mhm.
motivates you to keep going. If there was no finish line, you know, um, I don't know, it'd be kind of confusing, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how you get off of your purpose because you're just there's no end in sight.
Yeah.
And so start there, as dark as it is. That's why I love Stoic philosophy because it takes the emotion out of it. Yeah, it's dark. We're gonna die. It's part of it.
Yep.
But how are you living your life? And so the
Mhm.
question is again, real quickly, am I happy with the direction my life is going? What can I improve? What am I missing from my life that I need to put there? And why is it missing? I guess that what is missing and why is it missing?
Mhm.
What do you need to change or do? And oftentimes it's like, I don't need you to do more. It's probably what do you need to do less of? Who do you need to say no to? What's the dumb shit that you're doing that you should? LinkedIn is going to kick us off. I'm surprised we're not kicked off yet.
Yeah, Jay.
What's the dumb shit that you're doing that you need to stop doing? That's
Mhm.
eating up your ability to live your life. And maybe it's an action. Maybe it's people, like who's right for you, who's not right for you.
Mhm.
What would you like to be remembered for? What steps can you take now? What steps can you take now? And one of my favorite quotes, I got this from the Tim Ferriss podcast. If you only had 5 years left to live, what would you stop doing?
Yes, I love that.
And I love that question because it's like, if you knew you only had a day or a year, I'd quit my job today and I'd
Mhm.
travel the world. But seriously, if you only had 5 years left to live, what would you stop doing?
That's right.
And
That is
I
what's not
remember,
serving you right now. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, it wasn't long after that I heard that podcast and that question posed. Um, I was with my uncle, and he healthy, had cancer, got up one morning, normal routine, and just went to the bathroom. Bathroom is, toilet's filled up with blood, and obviously need to go to the doctor. Doctor's like, you got bladder cancer. No problem though. Pretty routine. We're going to remove some things. Should be good to go. Don't worry. Well, he had that, went back for his follow up. Oh shit, it spread. You only have 5 years left to live. And that whole process and I was like, oh my God, I was just thinking about that. If you only had 5 years left to live. And it was less than a year later, and he deteriorated so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be morbid about this, but time is fleeting. You got to live your life there's a great quote, live your life as if there's no tomorrow, but learn like you're going to live forever. And I think if you want to leave a legacy, you've got to do it now. And we've got to quit this notion that we're going to be here forever and quit taking life for granted, because it's not. We don't know when our time is up.
Yeah.
I was actually in the doggone, was taking my kids to the price cutter here in town, and we roll up, and we saw the police car come, and then there was ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. This dude was in a go-kart or something. There's a go-kart in the parking lot, and he was laid over on the side and didn't look very good. And I'm just like, man, just in an instant, like you weren't planning on having a day like that. I don't know. The ambulance drove away and there was no lights. I don't know. I don't know what the outcome was, but it was another moment of like, shit, we're not going to be here forever. Like,
yeah,
we got to quit playing like that. So,
right.
Sense of urgency to take command of your life and live it on your terms.
That's right.
And make an impact. So that's it. Quit giving your power away to everyone else.
Yeah. Yep.
Any other final thoughts before we
transition
to the weekly winner?
Nope.
All right, cool. All right, guys. I don't know. That was kind of up and down. Maybe a little morbid, maybe a little. Hey, it's Monday morning, guys.
Woo!
Live your life.
Yes.
All right. Now, just an exercise, guys, to help get your thinking about that. So, all right, let's transition now to we'd like to every week recognize someone for kicking ass and taking names and doing some awesome stuff. And this week, I've got, can you see my screen? All right, this is Terry Wilson. Terry Wilson, congratulations. We're going to send you a shirt for being this week's Do Hard Things Nation Spotlight winner. Terry is a Army veteran, and he is a triathlon coach. And yesterday he was out at the Chicago Marathon and ran his own personal PR, broke the 4-hour mark. And
nice.
He's just always inspiring and coaching others to live a better life. And I love Terry. He does some work for Ironman. So he's really big in that community and just loves encouraging and pushing people to achieve their best. And Terry, thank you for your service to our country, and just thank you for just being an inspiration, and congratulations on your PR at the Chicago Marathon.
Yes,
what an awesome marathon to be at. Yes, we had a few people. David Bale was out there and a few others with that epic. That was the marathon where the 2 hours point.
That's crazy.
2 hours and 34 seconds.
That is fast. No, I can't.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Terry, appreciate you, and keep doing awesome
hard things.
Yeah,
heck yeah, man. That is awesome. Great job, Terry. Great job. I'm the Chicago Marathon is actually on my bucket list, as well as the New York City Marathon. So I'm going to try to knock both of those off my list.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to do the Marine Corps Marathon. I've done it virtual a couple times, but I'd like to actually go in person and do it. So we'll get there. I need to get that on my list. I don't want that. I don't want to have that bucket list turn into a regret list.
That's right. And you know what's not going to be on my regret list?
What's that?
Making somebody smile. I'm going to go out and make somebody smile today. Man, Absolutely. It's so funny because Even kids are great. Usually you'll get a smile back from kids, but I was at a convenience store and I don't know, you never know how old kids are now these days, maybe 10-ish range. And he was just in there and he looked over at me and I just smiled really big. And he just was like, he looked away like, this is a creepy old lady.
Isn't that crazy how some people are just walking around their life just miserable.
Yeah.
I got to be careful because I have an RBF sometimes and I don't even mean to. So I kind of force myself to smile and remind myself to smile. And yeah,
That's
so for
why
one
I
of those
smile
people,
so
are you
much.
awareness? Yes.
Because I was told so many times, man, I did not want to talk to you because you look like such an itch. You know what I
It
mean? Like,
makes, when you force yourself to smile, it actually improves your mood. So if it's one of those
mhm,
things, catch yourself and force yourself to do it. Set a reminder for yourself, like smile. I
yeah.
have to, because I can tend to be like deep in my thoughts, and
Mhm.
I've been told I was intimidating. Well, I'm a taller guy. I don't want to be remembered as that intimidating dude that was grumpy all the time. And I
Yeah,
have my moments. I want to be the guy that's remembered for smiling and
that's right.
bringing joy to people. That's what I
That's right.
want. So you have to do
Yep.
that, and sometimes you have to have reminders because
Yep.
you don't always do that.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, for everyone out there,
Man, we went long
appreciate.
today. Thanks for
Oh
hanging
yeah,
out
we went
with
a
us.
little. Yeah, we
Woo!
went a little
Yes.
long.
Let's go get our Monday on.
Monday in the palm of your hand. Go out there and kick ass. Take names.
All right.
Great, everyone. Make someone smile.
That's
See you
right.
guys next episode.
All right.